I think where businesses maybe get stuck with video is they try and answer all the questions for themselves rather than leaning on a video producer's expertise and saying, this is the goal we want, this is the objective, this is the goal that we want, how to achieve that with video. So I still get a lot of clients that will come to me and say, we've seen our competitors are using video, this is what they're doing, we want that. Does that work for your competitor, firstly? Secondly, you're just going to compete with the same type of content. Thirdly, how do you differentiate yourself and how do you differentiate your business from theirs if you're looking exactly the same? So yeah, and there's so many different ways to use video now than there used to be, especially when I started out where you had to post physical tapes out to people. Now it can be personalized, you can have it very targeted in what you do.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ways to Wealth. Today I'm joined by Jamie. Jamie, why don't you give us the too long didn't read on who you are and how you got here?
Thanks, Charlie. I'm Jamie McKenzie. So I'm a owner of a video production business and the creative director there. And I've had the business 22 years.
Yeah.
So we create all types of video content for all types of businesses across all types of industries.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, that's something I think about a lot at the moment. Obviously, by creating a podcast and having done quite a lot of interviews now and podcast episodes. And there's a lot of work that goes into creating content. There's a lot of effort required to actually get high quality content out there on the internet. And you're at the forefront of that. And I think it's such an important thing for other business owners to kind of learn about.
Yeah.
Because it's just become
it's become complex, right? Content used to be you would create something, whether that's a video clip or a PDF or something, push it out and it would go to work and do something. But audiences have got more picky,
right,
less trusting.
Yeah.
And there's so much content out there now for us that you've got to be a little bit more strategic about how you do it and what you create.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how you create it.
Totally. So you've been here 20 odd years. You said you were from the UK.
Originally from the UK, yeah.
Did you train there and you got your experience in the UK and then you
pretty much I lived in Australia before the UK. Grew up in the UK, but lived in Australia for a few years where I first got into camera work.
Right.
Then went back to London to formally train.
Right.
And then worked on numerous TV shows and TV series, documentaries and things like that.
Yeah. So
and then moved to New Zealand and launched my own production company. Yeah.
And that was to take the work that you'd done in the UK and bring it to New Zealand?
That was my initial idea.
Yeah. And then shift. Why did you work on TV shows and stuff?
Yeah, very small, larger budget commercials and things like that. When I got to Auckland, and this is 20-something years ago, I quickly realized it's a lot smaller market here, especially for TV back then. There was a couple of channels. There wasn't much content made here, much TV stuff made here. So I saw a gap for businesses that needed video. And video back then, this is before YouTube. It's the time of VHS tapes and CD-ROMs, you know? So it's a long time ago. So not many businesses were using video. And those that were usually spent quite a lot of money and got average videos back then, you know, because there weren't many companies offering it either. Well, I saw a gap in the market to offer something slightly differently, produce the content slightly differently, and give access to video to business, large and small businesses. Yeah.
And now that's obviously evolving at a rate of knots.
Now that's evolving where I'm becoming a redundant and there are robots taking me over. AI is soon going to make us all redundant, and then we can sit here and enjoy our universal income. And
I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know if it's going to happen. Who knows?
It's going to happen in some sort of way. But how it manifests itself is, still to be seen, I would say. But you're right. Like, it changes the dynamics of the creation of content.
Yeah.
And I assume that your work that you've got has probably, the quality of production is probably degraded over time in a sense of of the level, like of how content's now produced. It's more organic content, focused, more kind of like on purpose, low fidelity almost.
Fully, yeah. At some levels, but yes, it is it's changed immensely over the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
You know, where everything was around branding to begin with, you know, and it had to be absolutely perfect,
Right.
to the advent of where we started seeing user-generated content through smartphones and things like that, you know, and the quality came down, but it became in some ways more believable, you know. We don't believe as much online as we used to, I think.
Yeah.
That's my perception. So the more real that content seems or appears, the more we trust it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. I mean, that's what's happened with the user, like the kind of, the kind of grassroots, self-published long form content, and how impactful that's been over the last couple of years in terms of selling product.
Yeah.
You know, you think about Mr. Beast and his business.
Yeah.
And I mean, they spend a lot on production.
Yeah.
Obviously, where it started, obviously the Paul brothers and how they have basically taken a low production content and basically sold through it.
Yes.
Right. Rather than the actual content being the thing that makes money, it's the brand, it's the association with the brands that they build, that they then pull into it and sell to. And obviously Joe Rogan's obviously the keystone of not user generated content, but I guess self-published long form content.
Yeah. I guess the challenge for businesses is how can they do something similar?
How can you compete in-house as well?
In-house, and have content that's interesting, you know, because a lot of businesses, they're good at what they do, but they can't see the wood from the trees. So you talk about, when it comes to content, they talk about themselves a lot. And the audience doesn't really care.
Yeah, for sure.
So for some businesses, it's about thinking outside of the box and maybe looking at content that's not directly got something to do with them, but is maybe a little bit more left field, and it's maybe entertaining, or it's got something that they can, you know, build an audience and then leverage off that audience.
I mean, that's the playbook now.
Yeah.
That is actually the playbook. Now, there's still room for, I think, the highly produced brand piece that you create. It's just, it's more strategic, and it's more probably, at least in my world, it's typically connected to a feature launch or some product launch or some partnership.
Yeah.
Where you would go the extra mile to basically create almost like a milestone piece of content.
Yeah.
Whereas that would be everything prior, or at least when we were thinking about advertising and stuff. But I mean, my prior gaming business, we were at the forefront of influencer content.
Yeah.
That's how we grew to like 400,000 users.
Yeah. Do you think influencer content's changed?
Yeah. Big time.
Ways to use it.
Since I was doing it in 2016, it massively changed. There's an industry around it now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you could go and pay someone $40 US to include something about your brand in their YouTube video.
Yeah.
And it took that YouTube video, you know, you're basically taking bets on the video, but you know that one of them's going to go viral.
Yeah.
So we'd basically do that. And every so often you get a video go viral, and then we would get 5,000 users overnight.
Yeah.
And we're just popping out talking to these people that had, at the time, they owned Facebook groups.
Yes.
And they would create content, post it to the Facebook groups.
Yeah, and hit large numbers.
And then hit large numbers.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. And now, obviously, even if you get, it's more institutionalized. Yeah. Actually engaging with the influencers is completely different. If you're in a small market like New Zealand, like, getting your foot in with the influencer community isn't straightforward.
No.
Especially in New Zealand, because the influencer community is so small that, you know, they don't have the capacity to swap brands, and they won't. There's also a Kiwi kind of culture coming in there. Whereas in the US, you know, you can work with influencers much easier and on a much more kind of targeted basis.
Yeah.
Whereas here, like, you know, especially like in a fintech world, if you've got an influencer that's bought into a specific brand, well, they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to let you.
If you're opposing or you're eating.
So that means that if every influencer has a brand that they're associated with already, it's very hard for a new brand to come in and do influencer work.
Yeah.
It's actually much more worthwhile to create your own audience.
Yeah.
That's kind of the key to the small niche play, is actually it's now more worthwhile to actually build your own audience rather than you leverage an influencer because of that dynamic. But I think actually you'd still do more grassroots stuff if you had if you had a demographic that had a large audience, the UK audience. Then you can use micro influencers more effectively. You can work with 10 or 12 of them at once.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah,
It's a good game to play, I think.
yeah,
But then we think about our brand all the time. We're like, well, we have to be high quality
yeah,
because that's the brand that we want to. That's the business we're in,
yes,
and that's the brand that we want to kind of represent.
yeah,
And but you also recognize that lower quality content is working.
yeah.
So how do you align that to your brand in a way that you think is doing your brand justice as well?
And is authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of vibe do you get from people that are coming in and they haven't worked with a third party before, but they want to create content? Like, what are their biggest objections, and how do they typically like engage in this country versus maybe what I guess you've been really doing this for 20 years, so you've kind of this is the market,
This is the market I know.
It's obviously developed a lot from when you first started.
Yeah. It changes. It's gone through rapid changes in the last 5-10 years, especially in the last 5 years. I think COVID pushed a lot of people onto screens more, and it seemed like that created a larger, lot larger demand for video than it had done before, and I think, like I say, I think that was just people sitting there watching screens, watching videos, and then realizing how effective it was and wanting it for their own business or their own marketing purposes. I think where businesses maybe get stuck with video is they try and answer all the questions for themselves rather than leaning on a video producer's expertise and saying, this is the goal we want, this is the objective, this is the goal that we want, how to achieve that with video. So I still get a lot of clients that will come to me and say,
Be quite prescriptive.
we've seen our competitors are using video, this is what they're doing, we want that. And it's, well, does that work for your competitor, firstly? Secondly, you're just going to compete with the same type of content that they are. Thirdly, how do you differentiate yourself, and how do you differentiate your business from theirs if you're looking exactly the same? So yeah, and there's so many different ways to use video now than there used to be, especially when I started out, where you had to post physical tapes or CDs out to people now, whereas now it can be personalized, you can have it very targeted in what you do.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with my son about video the other day, content, because he likes video content. He wants to create content.
Yeah.
And he watched a lot of content.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, and I was talking to him about, we had a bug in the system and I was going to go fix it. And that's what I was working on. I was like, oh, why don't you make a video about fixing it?
Yeah.
And then using it. And then that can show people about what the product is and what you're doing and come along the journey with you. He's like 10. And it's like, he already knows exactly
what people are going to tune into. Yeah.
Yeah. And how to build like enthusiasm about the thing you're building.
Yeah.
Like, we are, in a sense, kind of in a weird way, we're in this kind of like builder generation.
Yep.
Where anyone can kind of build something.
Yeah.
Like, someone has the ability to create and build something, even if it is with the help of technology in the form of AI or in the form of software that helps you fill a role.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he obviously consumes content in that specific way that's relatively organic and takes someone on a natural, organic story.
Yeah.
That gets you bought in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also educates you.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. So now I'm like, and then my other kids are a bit more academic.
Yeah.
But he's more vocational.
Yes.
And at the moment I'm like, do I do I pay you to create shorts for us?
Yeah.
And just give you that knowledge,
Yeah.
give you that experience,
100% you should. Yeah.
you know, and just pay per video, per short that he completes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something I'm thinking of at the moment because he's really interested in it. And I think that giving people the opportunity to build something as early as possible
Yeah.
is super key.
Yeah.
And I think that you'll probably find that it is the thought and the creative aspect that is going to give your business longevity versus we're the best editors in the game.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the best editing in the game, right? But
that's a commodity that
it's commoditized
by here.
Right.
10%.
So, like, I'm kind of writing a memo at the moment on failing and not releasing it, but talking much about how the moat now is actually relationships
And human perception.
Yeah.
Right? How I perceive something to tell a story can't necessarily be commoditized or replaced by something or someone else.
No, you can't.
You know, and everybody has different skills when it comes to that. You know.
Yeah, for sure. So when you built your business, when you went out there, were you doing it was there an entrepreneurial kind of bent to your kind of psyche the whole time, or were you doing it for the work? What came first? Was it like,
when I started, I had no idea what I was doing or why I was doing it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a natural entrepreneur. I've had businesses since.
Yeah.
So I guess I couldn't really, when I got here, people told me it's going to be very hard to enter the industry. There's not a lot of work. And it's a long slog to get yourself busy. So I thought, well, I'll create something myself. And I guess that's my mindset is if I've got a problem, I'll create a solution to it myself.
Okay.
So that's, I guess, how I started is I didn't have anything. I had no work, no clients. And when I was told there's not going to be a lot of camera work for you as a TV cameraman here,
Right.
I thought, well, I'll find another avenue. So I guess it's from an entrepreneurial
Kind of pace.
Yeah.
And were you like, was the freedom that came with it a focus or not really?
No, because I think starting your own business, I don't know if it's that freeing.
For a long time.
To be honest, for quite a lot.
I mean, there's some aspects of it that are
If you
really,
exactly. Shut the door when you want and walk away, or and you're not answering to a boss, but you're answering to all
to the results and the client.
Yeah,
I'm trying to explain that to my kids at the moment. It's kind of interesting. They're like, oh, so you just don't have to go to work. Well, I'm like, even if I don't, what's going to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not doing it because I'm told to.
Yeah, there's a different type of pressure and responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and that actually appealed to you completely.
Like I say, I don't think I realized at the beginning, and then I guess I'm quite a determined person. So then it was about trying to get clients. It was always about trying to get a client, then trying to get 10, trying to get 100.
Yeah.
And then you start setting goals for yourself and benchmarks for yourself. And before you know it, you're sort of 5 years down the track, and
it takes about 10 years to really get that stability.
Yeah, it takes this. And looking back, I think I was often just ahead of the curve.
Right.
Trying things. I tried them maybe a little bit early, maybe too early.
Right.
On some things, because I saw, I obviously was immersed in video and the, that world. So I saw new opportunities and I jumped on them sometimes probably too quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then now do you feel like you're in a position where you're on that right edge of the curve then?
Currently, yes, to a certain point. There's a lot of unknown out there right now, right? With AI and what that will lead to and what it can lead to. So I think it's dangerous to say, I've got everything buttoned up and I'm when you don't know what's around the corner, especially in the creative world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's taken the industry by surprise on like the rate of progress?
I think it has more overseas than here. I think New Zealand's slightly. Yeah, I wouldn't say.
Not behind.
No, I want to. Behind's the wrong word, but more. It's quite insular here and protective from. People tend to do the same thing and just stick to their sewing.
Yeah.
Like I was in Europe, I was in the UK last week, and just talking to some old friends there from a number of different industries, you could see that the technology that they're experiencing is a lot more prevalent than it is here at the moment. So it's be interesting to see how things play out in the next year or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super exciting. I just think about the amount of productivity gains we can get in a team.
As long as it makes us productive so we have more downtime rather than productive and more productive and more productive, right?
Yeah.
Like with the advent of smartphones and being able to work remotely and mobile, do we work more? Work less?
That's a really good point. We're stuck in more. Are we stuck in a hamster wheel of distraction and kind of alerts?
Yeah, exactly.
And also, will humans settle for a full-time work output?
Yeah.
If you could get 2x or 3x per person.
Yeah.
And does that mean that you go down to 30 hours or 25?
Yeah.
Probably not.
No.
You probably stay at 40.
Yeah.
And then optimize.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I think that is something that is the human nature, probably more so than like a conscious business decision. I think that just leaders will just
make themselves busy.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. And there's such temptation to do it, for sure.
Yeah.
But I see it I see it as a super exciting thing because I'm starting to think about it from a fundamental level of like essentially, a token which is generated from an AI. And you think like any AI system, any agent, any LLM, any video creation software, any editing software, it's basically spending tokens, right? So, and one token is equivalent to some amount of time. So like I now think about how do I have the capacity, because the way we've structured our company and our ecosystem is, we have a holding company that also owns parts of many different companies. So now I'm starting to think about, how do I, then if tomorrow is about how do you get access to the most amount of tokens for the least amount of cost, to then amplify your team, which is measured in hours, probably. Although we don't really measure our team in hours, we pretty much have everyone on their kind of set REM.
So how are they measured?
Well, I mean, they're measured on output.
Okay,
Yeah, they set REM, and then like we don't have kind of hours where people are in the office or anything like that. It's just like when it works for that individual. But then again, we have a different environment because we have our team, most of them, if not all, have equity.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bit of a different culture internally.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to think more about, okay, well, 50 tokens gets me this job done and we run this job X amount of times.
Yeah.
That's also something that any small to medium enterprise could really set up.
Yeah.
And because of the cost of your traditional SaaS products now, SaaS has become such a big part of our operating cost as a business.
Yeah.
But then you also get the gotchas of you might only use 20% of the software, but you're paying for 100% of it. And if you scale your team up, all of a sudden there might be a piece of software in your business that's costing you $50K a year.
Yeah.
And, it's still not customized and you're only using 20% of it. So could you reproduce that with tokens essentially at $15,000 a year?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm kind of thinking about things from a AI perspective. And we think about that with the production of the pod.
Yeah.
Because we've done over 100 episodes we've recorded now.
Yeah.
And I think we've only got like 28 episodes out.
Yeah.
And getting our production line done for the podcast and refining the setup has taken 100 episodes of knowledge.
Yeah.
And then getting a reliable way to get them out at a quality that's aligned with our brand,
Yeah.
it has been so hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
What have been the biggest challenges?
Finding the resource at the right price to serve.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then getting the team and the production line, because it's like a manufacturing line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To use the technology to deliver the cost structure that we need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we've got there now.
Yeah.
But it's meant that there's now a backlog of 70 episodes.
Yeah. That are sitting to be launched, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got an idea on how we're going to solve that.
Yeah.
But then, like, there's 100 episodes now. There's a treasure trove of shorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That we haven't even scratched the surface of.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where I'm thinking about my son. I'm like, well, because we use Riverside.
Yeah.
Riverside does a pretty good job of making shorts.
Yeah.
Automatically, and then you could cut them and do the
add extra bits.
do all the extra bits, but you get like maybe 30-40% of their way there.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're also challenging our developers, like how can the development team increase their velocity by 20%?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to do that without putting in more time, you're probably going to have to adopt some technology.
Yeah, more technology.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, like we want to get the team to embrace that, knowing that we've got a team size where no one feels like they're going to be made redundant. Because that's, I think, the problem that bigger organizations are going to have in terms of adopting.
In terms of their teams,
Yeah.
feel like they're
Just right.
questionable.
Yeah, because no one in my team is thinking, oh, I don't know if I have a job tomorrow. Right? But if you got 200 people in your organization and they have pretty big functions, you're going, oh shit, our team's dirty. You know, and it does kind of become a bit blurred at that point.
Yeah.
Whereas for the micro organization or the SME with a small core team, no one's thinking, oh, I don't know if my job's going to be here tomorrow.
No, they're just trying to get through the workload. Yeah.
So I think it's a really exciting time.
Yeah.
I think it opens opportunities for like more micro institutions where people also are tending to trust more micro institutions that are actually aligned with their values.
Yes.
That seems to be a huge trend. Comes in with the content, like the type of content you create, but also the type of brand you are.
Yes.
So in terms of our holding company, like we have a very clear thesis around micro financial institutions as one of our like very niche down financial institutions, because it talks the values of the client, and that's what the client wants.
Yeah.
So that trend around content it permeates through business.
Yes.
You know, the music we watch, listen to, the TV we watch, that kind of speaks to how culture is feeling, right?
Yeah.
And
it's a reflection.
It's a reflection of right, that moment in time.
Yeah.
That's like the whole meme, like mimetic behavior and memes. Yeah. It's really an expression of a feeling.
Yes.
And because we now kind of live with GIFs and memes, and you know, you can send a whole paragraph with a meme or a GIF, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that means,
you think our emotions, this is probably an old way of putting it, are getting worn out? You know, we get so triggered by so many things we spend so much time online, we're getting bombarded with everything, and our emotions, our dopamine levels are getting bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
You know, to the point that a lot of us now are switching off from it, you know, like downgrading our phones, moving away from social media. And so what's next?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's like there's becoming a split, right?
Yeah.
There's a split in society where some people are
doubling down
on the online world. And then other people are sort of moving out.
Coming off, going more anonymous, away from the noise.
Yeah.
I think it's a noise thing. It's leveraged. It's a leveraged activity, right? So the opportunity is really interesting.
Yeah.
And you get to communicate really effectively.
Yeah.
In a short period of time.
Yeah.
Which is a good seeding, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I prefer to look at long form content. Like I'm more of an audiobook, long podcast kind of consumer. That's where I'll go.
Yeah.
And then you get other, you know, my wife won't watch anything more than 15 seconds.
No. But you're probably looking for you learn a different way than, for example, your wife would, and you're maybe looking for more than she's looking for quick entertainment.
Well, yeah, and then she'll read like long form content of books.
Yeah.
But in terms of video content, especially,
Yeah.
it's like shoot sharp, really like gets the outcome real fast, and that's where a lot of people how they live. And I think that the risk to it, my view is that you get really strongly held views disseminated to you, and then
Yes.
you basically mirror those really strong views, but you don't have a fundamental we don't have the Daniel, you don't have the context. You don't have the context about why that view exists. And I think that's the trap
Yeah.
that you can get into with short form, highly addictive content.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what you would like to do is you'd like to do the work in order to understand something at a deeper level,
Yes.
so that you can actually have a stronger conviction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise you can just be like, you can think something very strongly one day, and then that whole view can be just kind of destroyed. You get a little bit more context.
Yeah.
So I think that, I mean, that on an individual level has a real kind of clear and present place and risk
Yeah.
that we all have to kind of manage.
Yeah.
And then from a brand perspective, you have to work out how do you navigate the two pieces. And sometimes maybe a short form content looks good from a metric perspective, but is it actually driving the business result versus maybe a long form piece of content, and measuring them and measuring their job.
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen a trend we're getting more requests for long form content again now,
Yeah.
you know, with brands wanting stuff that they can put on YouTube. That's, it's not the 30-second or 60-second that it was some years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's now we want 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes
Right.
of a story involving our brand, that entertains people. And that's a complete change for the requests we were getting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally true. And what you want to use the short form content is obviously to drive people into
Try and feed them into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And try and feed them to channels that they own rather than, social media channels.
Yep.
They've got no sway.
Yeah, and like buying ads, right?
Yeah.
You're borrowing the audience.
Borrowing an audience that doesn't want to hear from you,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. And it can work really well, but yeah, I mean, we're experimenting constantly with little messages.
Yeah.
And then
But it's like when, for example, content on social media, advertising like that, it's like the frequency and the amount of content that you need to put out now.
yeah,
I don't think a lot of businesses
have the infrastructure to do it.
know, or the understanding of how much they need to put out,
We were in a cycle last year of doing 4 videos a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when the whole editing thing, because basically what happened is we started off with 2 hosts, 1 guest, 4 cameras, 3 mics.
Yeah. Complex.
Yeah, not through Riverside.
Yeah.
So all independently recorded. Then you've got to put them all into a folder in Google Drive.
Yeah.
And then we were rendering looking renders, like really strong renders on the back wall
Yeah.
of our brand.
Yeah.
And like the total time was like 12 hours an episode.
Yeah.
And it was like, we just can't do that.
No.
It's not worth it.
No.
And actually, we're more time spending creating content doesn't necessarily mean higher quality, but more engaging content. So we decided to cut it right back, and this is what we've basically cut back to.
Yeah.
And it's epic. Like it does the job.
Yeah.
And it's
Concise.
X amount of time to deliver, and we have there's a set price that we pay to deliver an episode now.
Yes.
Which has been really awesome to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we got to, but that took us a year. It took us because it was this time last year that we started.
Yeah.
So it took us a year to do 100 episodes and work out how to
simplify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how to produce it.
Yeah. And that's where I see video production generally now, is how can we simplify things?
Yeah.
For businesses that want to tell their story or put messages out there, how can we simplify it, make it really authentic so your audience believes it, trusts it, and it's easy for you?
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of like horizon gazing then, and like what does success look like for you then? Maybe personally, but maybe at a business level for the next 5 years. Like, because why do we run these businesses? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
what's the point of where are we going, you know?
Yeah, for me, I guess the next 5 years will be really about adopting new technologies, and scaling my business in a way that's not based on human output and and more bums in chairs, but about delivering for my clients in new ways that makes it easier for them, but retaining, as I mentioned earlier, my perceptions about things to help to reflect their stories. So essentially, I tell business stories, and I use video as my medium to get them attention so that they make more sales or do whatever what of them. So making sure that that gets retained, and that the creative human element in video is still there. Like you can create anything now with
Yeah, but there's such a difference in output versus I've recorded something like this episode
yeah.
and maybe used Riverside and they have some really strong AI tools to edit it
Yeah.
versus typing in a prompt and getting a piece of work finished, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That second piece is
That's
going to be nowhere near what the first piece is.
no, and that in terms of putting in a prompt and getting a generated animation is what it basically high quality animation. I think that's going to be short lived, because I think we're going to see like you see through it now to see how the quality is going to be and how lifelike. You'll still be able to spot it. I think.
Yeah,
and who cares if it's just made up trash?
Yeah, that's right.
So I think in some ways, like I say, it's almost like that split. There's going to be the attraction towards very human content and humanized content, versus generated digital trash.
Yeah, we call it augmentation.
Yeah.
So we have two things in our like kind of ethos of the company, values, principles, etc. And it's like, should it be automated? Should it be augmented?
Yeah.
Right. That's what we think about. Like, okay, what can you actually just have run every day and it does a function for you?
Yeah.
It might be for us, it might be how we reconcile deposits. I don't know, right? Or how we report our user metrics to our team every day.
Yeah.
That's like an automation. That should be automated.
Yeah.
Should it be augmented? I don't know, like you get, do portfolio managers like integrate into their kind of world, LLMs and basically technology, and that's more of an augmentation. You augment your editing skills with AI systems as an augmentation. And what we kind of think that everyone's kind of in a sense is basically a cyborg at this point. We're all attached to our phones. We're attached, that's what I'm now a big advocate for. Well, you just need you need to buy the best technology for yourself.
Yes.
I would rather have the best phone and the best laptop than the best car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that I use a lot more than my car.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to probably drive more money for myself and more resources from my family than obviously a car. Whereas typically back in the day, you would spend a lot more on a vehicle because you'd spend a lot of time commuting, etc. It's a bigger, especially in the UK, working class England, right? What is it all about? It's all about the cars.
Yeah, true.
Like the cars that you can't afford, and it's always a big drama about the cars, especially in the UK where you need to have insurance, and insurance is very expensive. So the whole debacle of cars and owning a car is like a little bit different to here, but it's still similar.
Yeah.
And I think that that's always made me laugh a bit about the like dynamics around kind of cars. I don't know. Yeah, another thing that I kind of have taken with me. But now I'm like, okay, well, I spend all my time on this stuff. I want my AirPods to easily sync between my devices, and I want to have a good experience. No, I'm spending all my time doing it.
Yeah, technology can make your life easier. Yeah. And a car can't.
One, Teslas are nice, and I always bought one, but then I ended up buying a relatively old Leaf for cash.
Yeah.
And that was like epic.
Yeah.
It was so much more worth it to spend like sub 10 grand on a car versus like 70.
Yeah.
And it's like it still feels good when it's in drive mode. It's still so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of that whole like utility versus appearance piece there, I guess. But I think like with editing and knowledge work, it's like, yeah, how do you optimize your output?
Yeah.
And the way I think about LLMs, it's like a booster to your productivity, to your hours.
Yeah.
It's like a multiplier on your hours work.
Yeah, output. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's really exciting. But and your job doesn't change then. It's basically how do I deliver the story?
Yeah, exactly.
And the output is using files. Yeah.
It's just different tools.
And I think that's where I think there's a lot of fear in the market around what's going to happen when it's like, no, I mean, this is just a multiplier on time.
Yeah.
So it actually could mean like really beneficial things.
Yes.
But it's a mindset thing, right? It's like, oh, I've listened to this 15-second content that tells me that my life is now ruined.
Yeah.
Because AI is taking over in it. Everything.
Yeah.
Probably not the case.
No.
It actually means that like, so I could take that as, oh, well, my son's life is pointless. I shouldn't have had kids.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to do anything. Or
change your purpose, right?
or
Your purpose changes.
Or could my son at 13 be as productive as someone in their 30s?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's a duality between those two outcomes because both could be true.
Yes.
And it depends on how I look at it, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you say, maybe we just people.
Like, there's never been so many opportunities, right? To make a living or create something.
To create a living, I think is a big right. Like
yeah.
20 years before you started, you probably couldn't have started the business that you started.
No.
I know for a fact that 10, 20 years ago, even maybe less than 10 years ago, we couldn't have created the institution, the business that we've created with the amount of money that we've created it for.
Yeah.
Like there was just no way that was going to happen.
No.
Like, so it kind of it is a bit of an enabler.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, it kind of, like any complex system, it has
pros and cons for our to it, but ultimately there's new tools available to us and how best to use those.
So in terms of tools, because I talk this a lot because I think that a lot of small businesses or even medium businesses here, they really struggle to justify spending money with outside parties.
Yep.
And I think it's because they often go into the relationship with not enough information, insights.
Yeah.
I think the better informed you are, the easier it is to make a decision.
Yeah.
And I think the more of a deeper understanding of the first principles is easier for them to feel like confident enough to make that decision with their hard-earned cash flow, which so many businesses in this country struggle with.
Yeah.
And because it's such a small market, you kind of have to wait longer for the feedback loop, I think.
Yeah.
So how does someone that's maybe not utilizing video content as much as they should or want to, how do you take a first step in actually either delivering it or making the conversation apparent in the organization?
I guess the first thing is looking, like, video's not it's not a luxury anymore. It's a necessity, right? You know, as a communication tool. It used to be a luxury.
Right, yeah.
Expensive, businesses had lots of money.
They'd have a video.
They'd have a video.
You're broke.
Yeah, it's like, look at pictures. We're a great company. Look, we've got all these staff and look, show to build there. And that's all they needed. Whereas now, video can solve specific problems in businesses, how a business runs from an HR perspective, all the way through to how they market themselves. So I think the first thing for businesses to look at is what's the problem that they want to solve with video,
right?
And getting really clear about
what problems can they solve with video.
What problems can they solve with video? Whether it's a recruitment problem, whether it's an attention problem, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's a software, a user problem with their software or whatever that problem is that they want to solve. Get really clear on that, and then work backwards in terms of how do they implement videos. So what type of videos are there? What's the message that they need to put out there? What type of videos can they use to tell that to tell that story or that message? And then where do those videos get seen? Where do they live? And how often do people need to see them? Right video, right time, right place. That's sort of a very...
Well, that's the thing as well, right? It's like we were thinking about working with all these editors that would make videos go viral, right? That's the kind of... And like you say, you can spend 6 months not having any sort of traction.
Yeah.
And it takes one video that has the right message at the right time and the right seeding eyeballs.
Yeah.
They give it the oomph it needs in the algorithm, basically, to turbocharge it, to get that leverage piece.
Yeah.
And it's the same with AI, actually. It's not, oh, AI solves all my business problems. It's, oh, I experiment with AI in the application of using AI in my business.
Yeah.
And potentially, some of these applications are going to have leveraged effects in the business, which is that turbocharge, which is exactly the same thing as a viral video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod. I really enjoyed it. It was really cool. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Jamie.